We are live. What is going on, everyone? Thank you all so very much for being here. Everyone that's tuned in at this time, really appreciate it. Anybody that's watching this on the replay, again, we really appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. What is going on, Jake? How are you?
I am good. I am good. Tired. How are you?
I feel it. I feel it. Same. Little tired, little rough, but it's how it goes, right? It's life. We're here. Who hasn't looked tired is the Lakers. That's who hasn't looked tired. Lakers looked great last night. It was a beautiful thing. You love seeing it. But did you see Beasley's just dominant performance? It was
I did not. Tell me about it.
absolutely beautiful. So, diving in to just to jump right into things. Lakers got the win, much needed win. Right,
Yeah.
we needed that win badly. But regardless, we ended up closing it out at home against Golden State. We were up by like 28 for the most part, just dominant fashion. D'Lo got hurt, which that kind of sucks. It's nothing major. Luckily, it was just sounds like a minor, just a minor ankle sprain, like a normal, just run of the mill type ankle sprain. But he's day to day, and Darvin Ham today, or at least at the time of doing this live stream, said that he might miss the game against Dallas on what, Sunday.
Yeah.
So that happens. That sucks. We could use him against Dallas, but I still believe we can win even without it. I really like what we're seeing with this team. I think this team has shown a ton of promise, has shown just the ability to just execute and score and play defense, share the ball. Again, we're averaging 30 assists per game with this new team. That is like dynasty warrior numbers.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, like that is unbelievable. So the fact that we've been able to do that and win, LeBron and AD again played 26 minutes. LeBron had like 12 points, 13 points, I think, off the top of my head, and then AD, he had I think 12 or something
12,
like that.
yeah.
Yeah, he had a 12 and 12 game, but
Which really quick, sorry, he had a double, and looking at it, I hate just reading a game off of the stat sheet, but in this case and scenario, I kind of have to. But I will say though, just looking at just something notable, we had almost 3 players with a double. That, because LeBron
we had
had
8
13.
guys in double figures too.
Well, yeah, LeBron had 13, 9, and 8, and then. Okay, well, Jared Vanderbilt wasn't that close to getting a double, but a couple more points he would have been there because he had like 9 rebounds. And then Anthony Davis had 12 and 12. So no, but that right there. Then Obama actually did have a double. So yeah,
Mo Bamba was hitting some shots. It was nice
yeah.
to see him have the ability to stretch the floor. Because that was the thing in his first game back, which is understandable. I mean, he missed a couple games. Not only did he miss a couple games, but he's got to get acclimated and get comfortable with this current roster. But luckily, we saw his capability, his ability to stretch the floor, his ability to help just kind of be a defensive presence in the interior, but also step out and be that 3-point threat in the exterior. The beauty is again, and we've talked about this here, is that like, who cares about the stats if we're winning?
Yeah.
Like LeBron had a bad game, for his standards, a terrible game, but he only played 26 minutes. AD
I was gonna say, for only 26 minutes. I mean, it's not. Yeah.
Yeah, and then on top of that, you have Anthony Davis, who he gave us a double. But he was dominant on the defensive end. That's where you really felt his presence and his impact was on the defensive end.
Yeah.
But even beyond that, the fact that now we've won a game without LeBron, we've won a game with AD not being a monster, and we've won a game with LeBron and AD essentially just kind of being on the court,
Yeah.
for the most part. Now again, um, Davis was still a just a dominant defensive impact player, but he
Well, yeah,
didn't
he had
have
12
to.
rebounds. I mean,
I mean, he didn't have to try hard,
yeah,
especially when guys are playing to that type of level. When guys are competing at that type of level, you don't have to really try, and that's something that is really helpful and really beneficial.
yeah.
If
If you rebound like that every night, man, like,
if
oh, our
LeBron,
rebound
yeah,
numbers are delicious. Like,
yeah,
that's kind of
we still got to
scary.
do a better job protecting, second chance points. We still gotta they got a lot of offensive rebound. Like there
Yeah,
was one sequence where they literally got like four of them in a row. Like that kind of stuff has to stop. But overall, I liked what we've been seeing with this team. Now, obviously, we have Dallas. It's going to be a big test. But in general, right? Like if we can just coast like LeBron and AD for the most part, if they could just coast the rest of the way and we can make the playoffs, then good. Like talk about load management. If you could load manage with them on the court, perfect. Like that's the thing. Like, why do they have to go get 30 a night if we don't need them to?
no, I mean,
We
especially with, and we got. I mean, I know Russell got injured, but his injury is he? I mean, if he's expected to come back anytime soon, we should be okay. I mean,
Yeah, I
because
mean he's day to day. He'll probably, if he's not back by the Dallas game, he'll probably be back most likely by the Memphis game. They might keep him out of the uh, Dallas game just for precaution.
yeah,
But if they do, then he'll. I would be pretty surprised if he missed the Grizzlies game, because that's that's essentially like a week on a sprained ankle, which they say, which depending on how bad the sprain is,
yeah,
makes sense. You can miss a week plus, but since they said it's not a huge sprain, it's nothing crazy, then it should be okay. But again, if we could just coast away,
yeah,
like we know LeBron and AD can just go off at any point. We know that they can do what they need to do at any moment, right? So like, why force the issue? Why press the issue? And we don't have to. We don't
yeah.
need them to.
Well,
You know what I mean? Like, obviously, there's still 22 games left, so there'll be a game where LeBron just gives you 30 or 40. There'll be a game where AD gives you 35 and 20 or something like that. It's still, a third of the season. It's going to happen. And then there's also probably going to be games where we need LeBron and AD to be LeBron and AD. It's just going to happen over the course of X amount of games. But if we don't need them, night in and night out,
yeah,
wear and tear, just basically, wearing themselves down come playoff time, then that's perfect. Because
yeah,
now we're ready to go. We're ready to get into the playoffs. LeBron and AD are fresh. They've been able to kind of coast. Now we're in the playoffs, and they can be LeBron James and Anthony Davis.
yeah,
Um, it's nice because we have a team now that a couple weeks ago we were like a okay team that had a chance to be a really good team or a good team, right?
yeah.
We are now a really good team with the chance to be a great, if not special team.
That's
Like,
true.
and
That's
that
true.
in and of itself is just such a great feeling, and just such a great sort of just turnaround from a couple weeks ago. I
Yeah,
mean, see all the fans, the conversations are different. People are more hyped, more excited. You feel more anxious leading up to games because you're like,
yeah,
man, like I really can't wait to see this. Like, is it
yeah,
is it today? No, it's not. We still got 2 days. Like, it's just that like anxiety building that just wasn't there a couple weeks ago. And so it's nice now to know, like, all right, like let's get to this next Lakers game. Let's see what develops. Let's see how this plays out. More,
Speaking of like special, like how special of a night was that for Beasley? And
oh,
my question is, I don't know how much he can, I guess, reproduce that type of a night. Don't get me wrong, and I'm not saying that we can't expect this from him night in and night out, but was that more of like a, hey, this is a team that, their defensive schemes is not matching up to our offense. Let me just go ahead and pick them apart. Because from what I watched in the highlights, he was lighting it up. So like, I'm just wondering, like, is this going to be a thing that we can see probably more consistently from him? What do you think?
Absolutely. So,
because he can hit it. Like, that's the thing. That's when he came out
course.
the first game. Like, I think what the overall consensus was is everybody was getting panicked. Like, oh no, no, no. You know what I mean? Like, why did we sign this guy? But like, it's one night, and shooters are going to shoot regardless. You know what I mean? So I'm like, if you're a shooter, you got to keep shooting. So like, I wasn't worried. I just, this is nice to see. I mean, it really is.
Yeah,
knock down shots.
Yeah, on a consistent basis. So here's the thing: he's a high volume shooter.
Yeah.
Which high volume shooters are usually either 7 of 11 or they're 2 of 7. Right? That's just how it goes.
Yeah.
Like very rarely are high volume shooters somewhere in the middle. They're like, 3 and 6 because they're just taking so many. So you're either on or you're not. Now, what the beauty is that Beasley, and this is something like I actually made a video diving into this exactly.
You did, and it was good. I watched a little bit of it.
Well, thank you. And because it's very important. So, like, one thing that I think people need to understand too is that not only is he coming to a new team, but if you've watched these last few games and even the game last night, Beasley got so many wide open threes, it was insane.
Yeah.
And that is an adjustment in and of itself.
Yeah.
When you're in the flow, you see it all the time. Happened in the game last night with LeBron. When you're in the flow of the game, you're used to getting the ball and hurry up, shoot, because the defender's right there with a hand.
It's coming at you.
Right? And they're all over you, right?
Yeah.
But you just saw times where Beasley got it, and it was like, there's nobody here, right? Like I could make a picnic. I could get my hair done. I could, write a novel before I shoot it. And you see players a lot, more times than not, unless it's like Steph or Clay. Yeah. But more times than not, when a guy gets the ball and he's wide open, usually they end up missing those.
Yeah.
When they actually take a second to think about it, because it's an adjustment in and of itself. Mm-hmm. And Beasley is going to get more wide open shots than he's ever had in his career because you have LeBron James and Anthony Davis that are such a rim pressure. Yeah. They demand all your attention from a defensive standpoint, even with LeBron and AD playing as poorly as they did yesterday, or to some people it was poorly. I didn't think it was that. I mean, LeBron had a bad shooting night, but he still impacted the game in other ways with his playmaking, Davis with his defense and shot blocking. But most people would look at those stat lines and go, oh, they had bad games. But even with that,
crazy when you could call LeBron James a bad game, almost a triple double. I mean, that in and of itself just shows how great he is. I mean, come on.
Yeah, he's magical. But like, that's the thing though, is that with him, with the attention that LeBron and AD draw, teams have to pack the paint to an extent. And the beauty of Beasley is he's a three-point shooter that goes to his shot. He gets his shot. Like even the commentators last night talked about this briefly, and they talked about how like he's up there with the Stephs and Clays of the world, the Jordan Pooles, like guys like that, because a lot of times you'll see like dead-eye shooters or snipers or whatever. They are usually like just kind of camped at their spot, and just stay there, or they're or the spot up in the corner or whatever, right? That is usually how it goes. But you get these Clays, these Stephs that are constantly moving without the ball, and you watch Beasley. He's here. Oh, nothing. Boom. Let me go over here. Oh, nothing over here. Okay, let me come over here. Okay, nothing over here. Let me get over here. Yeah. Oh, now I got the ball. Boom, splash. Right? And Beasley has the green light, which is good. That's what you want. Now, firstly, I'd like Beasley to not have to shoot every shot, because there was like 3 shots last night that were just, I mean, and he knew it too, because he literally, after he took there was one of the shots, after he took the shot, he ran over to Darvin Ham and said, my bad, I'm sorry. Like, I shouldn't have taken that. And Darvin Ham told him, like, don't worry about it, keep shooting.
But when
Like
you're on the edge and you're like maybe in that, when you're feeling it, even if you're feeling it a little bit as a shooter, you're gonna take it. You know what I mean? It's like it's almost like a heat check. You have to just, like
no,
trust
me, this wasn't a heat check.
No, I know, and I don't know.
Heat.
And I know, but like even when you're just a great shooter, the bad shots they're gonna, you know what I mean? Like
I don't have a problem with, because you're gonna have one here and there. You're just taking so many shots, but there were shots that, like, for example, there was one where he got the ball, there was nothing there, and tried to go create his own shot, and there was still nothing there. And instead of kicking it out, setting up a play, or doing something, he just kind of threw it up. Like it wasn't even like a set shot or a pull up or nothing. It was just kind of this like almost dart that he just threw, which there was still like 15 seconds on the shot clock. Like, dude, like it's fine. We got time. Like, give the ball up, get back to your spot, and they'll probably give it to you again because you're wide open. And look, that'll come with time. I'm not complaining about it. I just think
he's
that
still running our offense too,
Yeah, I mean, everything takes time. But that also comes with volume shooters, especially when you give them the full green light, because the Lakers want him every time he touches the ball to just shoot it, right? Like that's literally his job and assignment. Do not, if you're wide open, you shoot it. Do not.
I was about to say, Darvin's like, all right, look, if you do not want the ball shot at the particular moment, do not pass it to, do not pass it Beasley.
But no, but that's the thing with him being such a good high volume shooter. It's fine. That's what you want. You want him to have the green light. You want him to shoot 10 threes a game, whatever, right? If that's what you're trying to do. But the beauty is that because it's not just that he's a high volume shooter. Yeah. Because I mean, you and me could go out there and shoot 10 threes a game, and we're probably going to make, 3 a game, right? Yeah. If we're lucky, if that, right? But he's a high volume shooter and still maintains a good 3-point percentage, right? Like the difference is like you see a lot of guys, they're like 40% from 3. Like Troy Brown is a great example. Like Troy Brown is like 40% from 3, but he only takes like 2 or 3 a game.
Oh yeah.
It's a lot different to be 40% over the course of a season on 2 or 3 attempts a game than it is on 10 attempts per game. Yeah. I mean, literally Beasley's taking over a handful of games, as many as you're taking over the entire season. So we are not the same, but he's able to continue to knock it down at an efficient clip, which is really going to help the Lakers going forward because it's that much more impressive. He's top 10 in 3-pointers made this year. I believe he's 7th. And then also on top of that, him having the good 3-point percentage is very helpful as well. But again, you're going to have games. You're going to have the good and the bad games. You're going to have the games where he goes and he gives you like something like this. He's 7 of 11 from 3. Yeah. And then you're going to have the other games where he's just 3 of 10 or whatever. It's just, again, it's all part of the game. It's all part of how that works.
And, I agree. And not to mention, you mentioned him getting open looks. I'm wondering how much of that do you think is like, okay, it's a new player on a new team. So it's one of those, like, obviously, like if you're the coach, you're scouting for this. Hey, like guys, we got the Lakers coming up tonight. Beasley, he's a sharpshooter. But my thing is like, it's different when a player is identified by a team. You know what I mean? Like you go to Golden State, you're just, right. Man, hey, run out to the 3-point line. Just whatever you do. Like, you know what I mean? But I think people aren't necessarily used to having like shooters on the Lakers, like a sharp shooter like that. So how much of that do you think is like, oh shoot, I forgot, Beasley's here now. You know what I mean?
It won't matter in the grand scope of things. Like
in terms of him getting left open, like
no, he's still gonna get wide open threes. It's just gonna happen over the course of the game. Because the problem is that you can't really run him off the ball for one, and two, again with LeBron and AD and the attention that they draw, you have no choice, because it's like, okay, yes, Beasley's a 40% 3-point shooter. I can either A, let him take that shot and make it at a 40% clip,
Yeah.
or B, I can go and chase him off, run him off with two guys, and now Anthony Davis is down low by himself on an island shooting 71%. So would I rather have a 71% shot, or would I rather have a 40% shot? I'd rather have the 40% shot. And then not just that, but it's like same thing with LeBron. If LeBron is driving and you're Beasley's defender, what are you really just going to let LeBron go walk in for a layup? No, you have no choice but to collapse. Yeah. And then what happens is what we saw yesterday. Then LeBron kicks it out, and boom, he's wide open. Yeah. The pool that LeBron and AD have, he hasn't had that. I mean, even in Timberwolves, even in like Minnesota, right? Like he didn't have that. Like, yeah, he had Ant-Man, but he's not LeBron or AD yet. You know, maybe he turns into like some star or whatever. He believes he's the best player in the world, but he's nowhere close, right? But he's still very young. He might get there. Karl Anthony Towns, yes, he's a little bit of a draw, but he likes to be out in the perimeter more, right? Like he's shooting 10 threes a game himself. And again, he's not Anthony Davis. And then Utah, right? Like Lauri Markkanen is playing unbelievable this year, but he's a perimeter guy. He's not at the rim like AD, and he's still not AD or LeBron, as great as he's been this year. That's the difference, is he hasn't had those one, let alone two, that are no matter what. LeBron could be 0 of 30 from the field. Yeah. And you still have to respect him because he's LeBron James. You know, where if Beasley's 0 of 30 from the field, you're going to go, all right, let him shoot. It's fine. keep shooting, dude. Keep shooting. Yeah. But LeBron, you're like, no, because all it takes is for him to knock down 1 or 2 or something like that, and that's it. It's over. Right? Yeah. And now he's going on a run. And so that's the big difference. So no, I don't think personally that it's going to change. Like, teams aren't going to necessarily game plan to stop Malik Beasley, right? They'll live.
I mean, unless he becomes like a problem, you know. I mean, he
does. Like, what's a bigger problem? LeBron James, Anthony Davis, or Malik Beasley?
No, you have a point. And that's why it becomes interesting with a higher defensive team, like that has like defensive schemes for this, like a Milwaukee, right? Like I can't wait until we get, to Milwaukee and see how this plays out, just because like I wonder if they, because they have an interior defense that could, kind of manage. But then, like you said, you can only do so much, right? So even if you're kind of neutralizing AD, you still have LeBron to worry about. I don't know a single team in the league that can neutralize both. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Can you name a team that can neutralize both of them in the night? So I don't know that. I don't know that. I think you're right. You're onto something. Definitely, because he's going to be left open. Because if you can find a way to neutralize both of them, okay, then you can get guys out to the perimeter and you don't have to worry about it. But I can't name a team that's currently constructed right now that can do that. And that's why I think if we make it into the playoffs, watch out. Watch out.
Yeah. Well, and I mean that's the thing though too. It's not just him. I just talk about LeBron and AD because they're the guys, right? They're the stars. They're the ones that are making it. Like D'Angelo Russell said himself.
Well, you still got Hachimura, you still got Bamba,
you got a lot of guys. But like D'Lo said himself, he was like, look, it's just so easy, right? Like I don't have to worry, because he doesn't. Like, you're even watching D'Lo in these last few games. He's getting to wherever he wants.
And he can have fun. There's not a huge pressure on his shoulders because he has two other top.
Well, he's not the guy. He doesn't have to worry about it. He gets to do all the fun stuff.
He's playing with two future Hall of Famers that are still, somewhat at the top of their game. I mean, not necessarily, but that's a stretch. But still, you know what I'm playing. He's playing with two really dominant scorers that how fun would that be if you have a point guard that can score, handle the ball, play make, and I got 2 like killers on the court with me. I'm like, yeah, let's ball out.
Easiest thing in the world for D. Like D'Lo is spot on when he said it's just easy because it is, and you watch him like there's times where he's literally walking to the paint because LeBron and AD just draw so much time. Everyone is so worried about is LeBron cutting? Am I about to be on a poster? Like what is happening right now? Right? Everyone is so worried. Is Anthony Davis posted up? Like what's happening? Oh, okay, we need a front. I'm like. It makes it so much easier for everyone else. But even then, like D'Lo's ability to get into the paint and be and use Beasley as a kick out. Like we saw that early on in the Warriors game where he went and was able to kick it out to Beasley, gave a little shot fake, took a step, collected, pulled up, and you see D'Lo like this because he knows it's coming. Boom, splash. Like those kind of things, he's gonna get such easy looks because he has so many guys that can play make and set that up. Like even Dennis Schroeder, you can cut through. Dennis Schroeder is gonna kick the ball out if you don't collapse on, or if you do collapse on him. If you don't collapse on him, then he's probably beating his man to the basket and getting a layup.
Yeah.
So it changes. Like I said, it changes the scope of the game.
And you got Hype coming in there with those nasty mid-range shots. I mean, it's like butter. It makes everything even more, like even that much more. I don't know. If you would have to say of this lineup right now, who is the oddball out?
With the starting lineup?
No. I think the starting lineup's fine.
Or just the team in general.
Yeah, in terms of the whole team, who do you think like just does not fit, and we probably need to?
I think it's exactly who. I mean, I don't think
it's probably who I was thinking, but I just want to know.
I don't think anybody doesn't fit. I think I really do. I think everyone on this team fits seamlessly. Problem is that it's just so like Lonnie Walker is a big name that people constantly are like, we need to find minutes for Lonnie Walker. We need to find minutes for Lonnie Walker. But it's like, for who? Like, you're not playing him over Beasley. You're not playing him over Austin Reeves. Troy Brown is bigger and a better defender, and that's what we need more than another shooter, right? I mean, we were already number 7th in the league in total offense, and we're only better now offensively. So offense isn't a problem. Shooting hasn't been a problem since we got this new team, and it's just so it's like, where does he fit there?
And I kind of wonder. I can't help but feel like does he feel a little slighted just because like he kind of to an extent helped carry the team when we were having our rough patches. We had guys injured out until he before he got injured. So I'm kind of wondering if he feels kind of like, dang, I just been replaced, but he has been replaced by options that are just all around a better option. And for him, I don't see him like kind of sticking around, but I do agree that it would be nice if we can find more minutes because I think he fits, but like you said, where and how do you fit him in? It's kind of like Win and Gabriel. I don't know, you know what I mean? But it's the two are different. But I will say that
I agree with you, Win and Gabriel, Reed, and why am I blanking on his name? Lonnie Walker.
Yeah,
sorry, it just completely blanked on his name. Tired, but yeah, those three guys are the odd man out. Those are the guys that have been the odd man out. And it just he's going to continue to be there. Now,
you take spots from do you take minutes from Reed? I feel like you could take, but Reed's only playing 8 minutes. Well, he only played 8 minutes last night.
You could honestly, as messed up as it sounds, you can make an argument that you're better off playing Reed than Lonnie Walker. Now, fans of Lonnie Walker,
really?
Yeah, because Reed is a legit defender.
Oh, you know what? He is a better defender. That's true.
And he's another 38% 3-point shooter. So he's going to give you the shooting that Lonnie Walker will, but he's probably the best defender out of everybody. The only difference is that Troy Brown is just, again, he's bigger, little bulkier, a little stronger.
Yeah.
But if we needed a 2 to come in to knock down the 3 ball and play defense, that's the like you could make an argument to go with Reed.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's true. Because
Yeah. So like that's the problem is that like there's just nowhere, at least right now, for Lonnie to fit.
yeah,
Um, other than like in just spot minutes. You just give him a spot minute here and there.
yeah,
But it just I don't know, in general. I like what we're seeing with this roster. I like what we're seeing with this team. And I hope that we can keep this running. Momentum's a huge thing, right? Like if we end up the last 10 games of the season, if we're like 8-2 during
yeah.
that 10 game stretch, we've won 8 out of 10 games, and we're hot going into the playoffs, watch out. Because I'm
Oh
serious,
yeah,
like momentum is a real thing, especially when you got young guys that believe. They're looking at the locker room and the bench and going, "That's LeBron James, who's been to 10 NBA championships or 10 NBA finals, and then Anthony Davis, who's top 3 big man, top 4 big man in the league, and I get to be the third, four. I just get to play my part. That's it. That's all I need to do is just come here and play my part." Like
right.
the pressure on those guys is non-existent, right?
Well, yeah,
Like,
because they know that essentially the two could carry the team by themselves. I mean, even in their older age, sorry, LeBron in his older age, they know that they could carry the team by themselves. I think that's a huge, like, you got guys that are playing with each other that actually, like each other. And I think we look more bonding than we've looked all season.
yeah, yeah. It just look. I really like this roster. I really like this team. Good thing is that some of the guys are pretty much all of the guys um, have all had some type of playoff experience, play-in experience, right? Because Beasley and Vanderbilt and D'Lo, they were on the Timberwolves
Yeah.
team.
Hmm.
Not just that, but D'Lo had led a Brooklyn Nets team to the playoffs. So you
Yeah.
got those guys who've been to the playoffs. D'Lo just lives for those moments. Like he's just a guy. He loves the bright lights, and that's really shown. So that's that. I don't think he's a guy that's going to disappear. I think he's a guy that you can make an argument he'll probably play better once he gets to the playoffs because that's what he likes. That's where he thrives. So you have those guys right there. Now Austin Reeves, Mo Bamba, those guys they haven't played much playoff basketball, but Mo Bamba, once you get to the playoffs, Mo Bamba, you're probably playing super limited. He's probably getting like 15 minutes a game, if that. And then
We played
Austin
22 last
Reeves.
night, which was I was going to ask you about that. How do you feel about that? Just really quick. How do you feel about his him
That,
playing
that
him
should
like
be that should be what he plays during
20,
the regular season.
25 maybe at the max,
Yeah,
maybe 20.
20 to 25,
Yeah.
depending.
Yeah. I like to see it because I don't want to see him get like 17 or like I mean I think in spots you'll need to play him less.
I think it just depends on what the demand is.
Yeah.
Like if it's a game, like if it's a game last night, I mean, you can make an argument Mo Bamba should have played 35 minutes last night
Yeah.
because I mean, we were pretty much in control most of that game. We should have just arrested AD. I mean, I'm not complaining. I don't mind it, but I'm saying like, but if it's a game and it's a tight game, and say we're playing the Suns, right? And it's like, we got to get this win. We can't mess around. We can't risk it. Then no, you play AD. If you have to play AD 40 minutes, you play him 40 minutes. Whatever it takes, whatever you have to do.
Yeah.
So that's what it kind of boils down to, in my opinion, is just like play guys accordingly, and if you're going, like, I would prefer them to rest guys early, which Darvin Ham has actually done a pretty good job with it.
Yeah.
Like, so he'll take out like AD and he'll sit him for like 8 minutes. And then, but he also made an argument that that's probably why he's not in a rhythm. But again, if we're winning, who cares?
That's
right?
true.
Like, as long as we're winning. But I also think, like, if we're playing, so like we're going to play Dallas, right? I hope that Darvin Ham plays AD, a majority of that first quarter.
Yeah.
So he can get going, he can get dominating, he can get he can start, doing what he's got to do. And then, put Mo Bamba in spots. There you
Yeah.
go. Here. Same thing with LeBron. Get LeBron established. Here you go. Let's go. And then kind of trickle that. Same thing. So that's kind of my hope as far as like that game, the Grizzlies game, again, when we play the Suns, play the Clippers, like those really good teams.
Yeah.
But the teams that we should beat, like if we're playing the Rockets, like Anthony Davis shouldn't have to play 40 minutes, right?
Absolutely not. Yeah.
So you play him, you give him early rest early on. So that way, if come later game, it is a close game for whatever reason, because it is still the NBA, it's still basketball. Games get close, games get tight. So if you kind of rest AD early on, play him the first 4 minutes, pull him out, let him sit, the 6 minutes in the first, same thing in the second. So now he's only at like 8 to 10 minutes, and you still have another 20. So now you can ride him the second half if you need to. Like,
that's
I
so
would
beautiful
prefer,
when your star only has to play like half of the first quarter. Think about that though. Really, your best player on the court only has to play half the. I mean, yes, you do have LeBron James on your team, but that's beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice when
and it's scary too. It's scary and beautiful
when you don't have to worry about it. Like when this is what depth and talent has. So what depth and talent gives you. But anyway, let's dive into some questions before we get out of here. So Wolves are the Wolf thing. Yeah. So good news. Speaking of this, the Wolves lost to the Hornets. So the Hornets did us a huge solid.
Good job. Good job.
Yes, they did a huge solid for us. And then so now we need the Suns to beat the Thunder, which they should, hopefully.
If they don't, I don't know. That would be weird,
the Suns are at home, and they have everybody. I mean, Kevin Durant's still not playing, but everyone else is playing, if I'm not mistaken. Here, let me check. Everyone else is playing, and the Thunder are trying to get a better draft pick, so they're not trying to kill themselves, and they don't have SGA. So look, this should be the Suns should win this game, and then the Rockets and the Warriors are tied. If by some miracle the Rockets could beat the Warriors, chef kiss. We're living La Vida Loca, because that would be awesome. Good thing is, the way all the games shaped up yesterday, you have like pretty much everyone from the 6th seed down to the Lakers all have 30 or 31 losses.
Yeah,
which is huge. So now all these teams have basically a loss or two less than the Lakers. So now that's good. Well, the Mavs are still at 29, but if we beat them, they'll be at 30, and that'll give us a full game on the Mavs. Yeah. So if it comes down to it, if we end up beating the Mavs twice, now we have 2 games on them. If they end up losing a game or two, or we get into a tiebreaker, we would have the tiebreaker over the Mavs. So if, for whatever reason, let's say we do get into the 7th seed and Dallas is in the 6th seed, and it comes down to a tiebreaker, well, then we would jump into the 6th seed. Yeah. So that is huge. But Minnesota lost today, so they're at 31 losses. Warriors, if they lose today, they'd be at 31 losses. The Jazz would be at 31 losses. The Thunder would be at 31 losses, and the Blazers would be at 31 losses. So literally from the 8th seed to the 13th seed, everyone would only be 1 game ahead of the Lakers in the loss.
That's a beautiful spot to be in, and literally, because all we have to really do is just win. What did we say?
We're 2 games out of 7 right now.
Yeah.
So if we beat Dallas and say everything goes right and the Thunder and the Warriors lose tonight, then Lakers would only be like a game out of 7th. Like literally, or game and a half out of 7th. That would be huge. right? Because now you go on a couple runs, and all of a sudden you're in the 6th seed, which is what I mean. The Lakers still have an uphill, but they're still 3.5 games out of the 6th seed. But like I said, if you beat Dallas both times, that gives you 2 full games.
Yeah.
So now you go from 3.5 to only a game and a half, with you owning the tiebreaker. If you and Dallas finish with the same record, you're in the 6th seed. So that's and Dallas doesn't have a very good defense, and they got a pretty solid schedule the rest of the way. So they're gonna take some lumps. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. The Nets got absolutely embarrassed. They had like 60 points with like 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Not good. Not good.
Yeah, that like talk about staying at home. What's going on, Raymond? Appreciate you being here. Devon Reed. I like Devon Reed. I think he's awesome. What's going on, Speedy? Jake, the junior OG. Reed is solid for 14. I do. I really like it. Time to watch Russ destroy the Flippers. Yeah. I'm looking forward to that first game. Who are they starting? I didn't see who the starters were.
Let's see.
Anyway,
I don't
check it.
I've been looking out for it. I don't think that they announced it.
Bench scored 68 of the 124. Outscored the starters. A good sign. That is always a good sign. Sunday on ABC. I can't wait. And it's like a noontime game. I hope we stick Vando on Luka from the jump. I do too. I think they should too. Must try Devon Reed on Luka or Kyrie. Lonnie should also make up for D'Lo's production. Yeah, I mean, we'll see if D'Lo
Reed on Luka. That's I don't know. I mean, I can see trying it in spots, but like off the get, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah,
I think we have better defenders that could be in that spot. But
my opinion, put Vanderbilt. You throw Vanderbilt on and you go that route. Starters are Russell Westbrook, Paul George, Morris Leonard, and Plumlee. So yeah, interesting.
So kind of like how we thought they were gonna go.
Yeah, exactly. Salute. What is going on? Appreciate you, Marcus. Let's see. Caramba, we have Mo Bamba. we have a Bamba. What's going on with Will Barton? No word yet. Nothing yet. But I think he ends up going to like the Suns or the Mavs or something like that. Mo Bamba has to stop leaving his feet so damn much due to 7 foot with a 7'10" wingspan. They can't even see the rim when you're right in front of your man. Yeah, I mean, it'll come with time. He's got to actually learn the game. He's just going off of just defensive, just natural instinct and just athleticism and stuff. Braun was a plus 24 last game. That was the second best in the game next to Bees, which shows you how much plus minus really matters. But again, plus minus takes into account like the players that were on the court at the time you were there. So Beasley going off helps. When teams flowing, everything that he does is huge. But definitely not much better today. Remains to be seen on the road. I mean, we beat the Warriors on the road, and they'd only lost 6 games all year on the road, even without Steph Curry. At home, even without Steph Curry. But I want to see how we play against these better teams.
Oh, yeah.
Looney has made a career off of offensive rebounds. That's true. Very true. Very, very true. Nice trim, Tyler. No, you had to step up next to Jake with the slow bit. I know I did. It's still not like exactly where I want it. Like that's why I've been wearing a hat because it's been in like the awkward growing stage. So it's still kind of in that awkward stage, but I was out and about today, so it's I was like gotta keep it right. Tyler looks like a Buddhist monk. I'm just here like getting my mind right. I watch Bamba's fouls, and sometimes he gets the whistle for blinking. I think refs hate him for some reason. I think it's just the energy and the hype and the inexperience and stuff like that. All that stuff goes a long way. What's going on, Austin? Appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. The installer centers, yeah. Malik literally went from 32%, 41% in one game. It's usually how it goes when you shoot that great, that many, that much volume. Yeah, because he went from being like 7 of 17 to like 14 of what? 14 of 28 or something like that with the
Yeah.
Lakers. So that's a big difference. Uh, Dan, I forgot to like. Keep up the good work. Laker fam, I'm out. Appreciate you, Raymond. That's right. If you're watching this live stream, don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel too. We're almost to 3,100, right?
Yep.
We're only like 16 subs away from 3,100. So take a second.
Road to 5K. Road to 5K.
Hit that. Yeah, we're getting there slowly but surely. So hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. Referring seems to be getting worse. We won a game. LeBron is 5 of 20 from the field. Exactly. That feels like a game that we would have gotten smacked on. I know, which is beautiful. We needed that. What's going on, Snorlax? Appreciate you being here. Yes, hopefully. What else? There were 2 cases where they double Bees off a high pick and he kicked it to LeBron for 3 and Vandal for a dunk. Bees is a baller, not just shooter. That's my point exactly. He provides so much on this team that it's wonderful. As soon as D'Lo got hurt, Poole went off on Dennis, but Dennis picked it up in the second half. I want to see us get better backup point guard for defensive purposes. Yeah, I mean, Dennis just provides a lot for this team. I really like Dennis. I mean, he's not the greatest defender in the world, but he's serviceable enough.
Yeah.
Jake, I watched a Lonnie podcast, and he said he's got to work on his defense. I think he knows why he isn't playing. Yeah, I'm sure. Look, Darvin Ham is a very straight shooter. He's gonna tell you what it is. Like, he's not one of those guys. He's not one of those coaches that's like, sorry, man. Like, no, he's hey, these guys are playing over you because they're better than you.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
I mean, yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. No, and I appreciate.
I would rather somebody tell me. I'd rather somebody be like, hey, coach, I went from being your guy and a starter to now I'm not playing. Like, what's going on? It's like, be better.
Yeah.
Play better defense. Do better things. It's not so much that the Lakers look scary. They have a legit NBA roster now, surrounding LeBron and AD. LeBron and AD, if healthy, are scary. Yeah, facts. A bunch of guys like Walker will get their number called because it's basketball and guys get hurt. Yeah, it's how the game goes, right? Is going to push for a D'Lo for Kai sign and trade. I could definitely see that happen. Honestly, I could really see that happening. Which kind of
saying do a deal
in the off season trading
trade D'Lo for Kai.
Yeah, because if you're if you're Dallas, you're not going to want to lose D'Lo for nothing, and the Lakers still have a first round pick, so you could talk the Lakers into like give us D'Lo, give us that first, and then maybe like give us Christie or something, and we'll give you Kyrie, and the Lakers would do that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, and like we said, we have pieces now. We have a lot of good pieces that want.
You basically recoup everything you gave up for Kyrie, and very likely a better pick. Because you're probably going to have Luka for the long haul. You get a guy that'll give you a lot of the same things that Kyrie gives you. And on top of that, you could probably get the Lakers. You might even be able to get the Lakers to give up their pick this year too. So you might get both first and like a Christie or something like that and just give up D'Lo. But not going to lie, if we had this exact team with Kyrie, we'd probably be the best team in the league.
I was going to ask you, do you want Kyrie over D'Lo like right now?
Yeah, Kyrie's a better player.
There's no question. But I'm just saying,
we know Kyrie works with LeBron.
Yeah,
the only question with Kyrie is just the mental. Can he keep his mental together? Like, can he stay motivated? Can he stay engaged? Will he show up? Will he play? When he's not hurt,
time will tell.
All those things, right? Like it's never been about Kyrie's game. Kyrie's one of the best players in the world.
Yeah.
Kyrie single-handedly took a Dallas, won several games for Dallas with he just stepped on the court.
Yeah.
Like he's just that good. Like, he was doing that stuff for the Nets and stuff. Like, yeah, he's just absolutely, like, if you have an opportunity to get Kyrie, you get and you can keep everybody, you keep Kyrie and you keep everybody.
Do you have
My
Kyrie
problem is I
okay.
wouldn't want to lose guys to go get Kyrie. Like, if it's just like, here's the picks, here's whatever, but we still keep Beasley and Vanderbilt and everybody like that, then yeah, go get, because now you do have your big three, but you also have, all your rotation role players, and on top of that, you have 2 stars still, even when LeBron leaves. So
I don't want to lose depth. I don't want to. I don't want to I don't want to lose depth just to get Kyrie. I don't want to do that. That would suck.
yeah, it ain't trading AD. Like, look, I really like D'Lo a lot, but Kyrie probably makes us the best player in the world, or one of the best teams in the world. Let's see. Bamba has to learn not to foul so much. Yes, 2 fouls would be yes, though. Yeah, Bamba is a good rim protector. Needs to improve his pick and roll defense. Yeah, he needs to improve his individual defense. He's a better help defender. Timberwolves lost. Warriors, Thunder losing at the moment. Need it to keep coming. Nets lost by 44. That was terrible. That's just horrible. Russ started. Plumlee started also. Weird how Russ is all smiles now. He joined the Lakers to sabotage. I mean, he was all smiles
because he's a new environment too. Like, new environment, new team, new players. Like,
well, he was all smiles when he first got with the Lakers too.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
He was the exact same way. Suns is still the team which went to the finals and last year topped the charts. KD not even featured in the game, and my man believes that the Suns are not a good team without KD. Look up, man. I've never said that the Suns aren't a good team without KD. What are you talking about?
I don't know if is he referring to you? Because I was about to say
He's got to be talking to somebody else. I have never
I will say I've never heard you say that.
That they are not.
You've said that.
I've said can we watch them play a couple
in the
games
big moments, finals?
I'm not ready to just crown them the NBA champions.
Well, yeah, they can't, and they like we've talked about how they can't necessarily get it done in final matchups, but yeah, you've never said they're not a good team.
Like, everyone's just so willing to go, oh, let's just grab the Suns' big one and just let's get this done because they got Kevin Durant. How many times have we seen super teams fail? Like, they haven't even played a game and everyone's already willing to just rub one out for them because they got Kevin Durant. Like, can we watch? I'm not saying, maybe they do. Maybe they just run through the league and they win a championship. I don't know. Yeah. But everyone's just so quick to just bend over and take it for the Suns. And it's like, for what? Can they play a couple games? They lost all their defense. They have 0 defense. Chris Paul can't stay healthy and is a shell of himself. That guy's non-existent at times now. Devin Booker has completely disappeared in moments, which is why they lost to Dallas and why they didn't win the NBA Finals. They were up 2-0.
Well, yeah, it's scary when he plays when he plays how he was playing throughout the entire season, then gets to the finals and plays like that.
Yeah, but the point is, like, everyone just assumes.
So I give him a little bit there. I'll give you that.
But I'm saying, like, everyone just assumes that this is going to be the best team in the world. Like, they really have, like, Chris Paul.
No, they are a good team, though. They are. We can't.
Like, people are like, oh, they have a big 4. Where do you rank Chris Paul in the league? Is he top 20? Top 30?
Chris Paul 40? In the league currently right now?
Yeah, right now. What is Chris Paul right
20.
now?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, he's top what? So what? He's top. Is he top 30?
Maybe you can make an argument, maybe, but even at top 30, I could name a league. I know. I guarantee you right now. I could.
Is Chris Paul better than D'Lo?
No.
Exactly.
Absolutely not.
So, like, why is, like, people talk
about
at
his peak? Yeah, we're not
people
talking.
People are acting like Chris Paul is Clippers Chris Paul. He's
no. At his peak, yeah. This is not even a conversation.
Dude,
currently,
Chris Paul is probably arguably top 5 point guard all time, but he's not that guy anymore.
No,
he's not that guy. He can't stay healthy. He disappears. His whole career, he's disappeared in big moments. Yeah. Like, People act like Chris Paul is still the point guard. Like, he has games, he has moments, but he's not the same guy. So I don't know why. Like, everyone acts like Chris Paul, like, oh, Chris Paul. You can make an argument that Chris Paul actually makes the Suns worse. Kevin Durant is the best or second best pick and roll player in the league the last few years. So if anything, what you want to do is you want to put the ball in Kevin Durant's hands and let Kevin Durant operate the pick and roll with Devin Booker and Ayton. And not just that, like, okay, Ayton. Let's look at it like this. Where do you rank Ayton?
Well, I was gonna say, okay, hold on, Leah. I'm glad you mentioned this because.
So is he top 20? No.
No,
is he top 25?
I was gonna say I need to understand why is Aiden a part of a big four? Like, I don't understand how you.
He's not. It's because people looked at him and they're like, oh, this guy could be a 2010 guy, which is true. If he was like the second option, but he's now the fourth option. And he's already had locker room issues. He already doesn't want to be there. He already hates everybody on that team. They lost all of their wing defense. They have zero depth. Everyone's just banking on Kevin Durant coming in and all of a sudden they're contenders. They're not taking into account that they still have to figure it out and get chemistry. This deal, in my opinion, I've said this from the moment they did it, I said this.
Yeah.
The moment they made that trade, it wasn't for this year. It was for next year, because next year they'll be able to solve a lot of their issues and they'll have an entire offseason, an entire training camp, and an entire preseason to figure it out. What they did was like, why would we wait till the offseason when we could get him now? Give us a chance to win right now and then go and do something like that. That's the difference. Like, but my point is, like, everyone just believes that these guys, one, can all stay healthy, which they haven't been able to in years, especially Chris Paul, especially Kevin Durant, right? Like, those two guys haven't been able to stay healthy in years.
I think people look at the big names. They say Kevin Durant. Okay, yes.
That's what it is. People are looking at the paper. People are looking at.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Everyone said the exact same thing when James Harden, Kyrie Irving, and Kevin Durant were on the same team.
Well, I was just gonna bring that up. Like, history has showed us that, like, paper super teams do not always pan out. Like, you look at the Mavs. Oh,
the Lakers have had several. The Lakers have legit had big fours and never won.
Yeah, I mean, like, you look at even the Mavs right now. It's another situation where it's like, oh, you got Kyrie and Luka, then we don't really got anybody else. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like, no, I think. But when you really look at it on paper, you got Devin Booker. Again, I don't know if I count that last finals performance solely on, like, I don't know if I'm too hard on him on that. But then you got Chris Paul.
Look, Devin Booker and Kevin Durant are going to be one of the best duos in the league, hands down. They are going to.
It's not Aiden.
They are going to be very good. They are going to be very good. Those two are going to be very good. Here's the thing. Here's what I think happens. This is just my guess.
Prediction time.
Yeah, here we go. Prediction
time. I gotta get out the 8 ball.
So they're going to ride out the rest of the season, whatever the result is. You know, a lot of people are like, they have to win a championship this year. I don't look at it that way. I really don't. I don't think they need to win this year. I don't think the Suns believe that they'll necessarily win
the Suns?
this year. Yeah, that the Suns. I don't believe that the Suns it's because it's like, well, it's championship or bust for the Suns. No, it's not. They just got together. They have to figure it out. Kevin Durant still hasn't played a game yet, and they got like 20 games left. Like,
I think
it's not championship or bust.
I think the reason people are saying that is because of the questionable, like, we don't know how long
Kevin Durant just went to a team that won 60 games last year or whatever.
Well,
how are they looking this year?
Well, I'm saying, how long is Chris Paul going to stay around? How long is Aiden going to stay around? Are they going to trade Aiden? I think that's more so what I think your core, to be honest with you, like you said, are Kevin Durant and Devin Booker.
Yeah, but here's what I think. I think that what ends up happening is whether they win or lose this year, I think in the offseason, they take DeAndre Ayton and they trade him. Or they might not be able to in the offseason. It might have to be like later on. Because here's why they didn't trade him.
Yeah.
One, because I've seen a lot of people that were like, that talked about it, but I haven't seen anybody mention what the truth is. Did he want to go to Brooklyn? Because here's the thing, right? DeAndre Ayton has veto power in any trade.
Well, I was gonna say, he has to. Yeah,
so they could have included him into they might have said, we'll give you Cam and Ayton. We want to keep Bridges, and we'll do that deal. And Ayton might have said, I'm not going to Brooklyn. I don't want to go to Brooklyn. Like he might very well could do that. But here's the thing: if they just wait, till next season, then that restriction goes away, and they can trade him wherever they want. So I think what happens, because they don't need a low post 20 point per game center, they just don't. You got Kevin Durant, you have Devin Booker, and you're kind of stuck with Chris Paul, in my opinion. But what you can do is you can then turn Ayton into several pieces. Like, do you go to like the Mavs and say, like, give us like Christian Wood, basically just go get all of their like 3-and-D guys. Like, we'll give you a young center. We want Christian Wood. We want, Tim Hardaway Jr. We want, whatever. And you work it out. Or, you go to the Pacers and you're like, hey, we want X, Y, and Z, right? Like, I'm just throwing teams out. But I'm saying, like, I think they use DeAndre Ayton as their tool to get and round out the rest of the roster. Yeah. That's my guess. I would be shocked if he plays another full season with the Suns after this year. Mm-hmm. I do not believe he plays another full season, because I'm not sure exactly off the top of my head when that restriction is lifted. Yeah. And because I think it's a full year. So if it's a full year, I think they would have to start the season. But regardless, I will be surprised if DeAndre Ayton plays the entire season next year for the Phoenix Suns, because that is their one piece that they have that they can trade and go get all of the depth that they need. You go sign a serviceable point guard, or a serviceable center. Go get like JaVale McGee or something. And now like, there you go. There's your center. That's all you care about. Or isn't, JaVale McGee might still be on their team, right? I know he was, but I was just saying, like, my point is that, if you bring him back, get a guy that can come in and just be a serviceable center. Nothing crazy. Yeah. You don't need a guy that's a lead or anything like that. Just a serviceable center that can block shots and rebound. There you go. I mean, you could go and get Hassan Whiteside and you'd be fine, right? And then just go get some 3-and-D guys or just some defenders. You don't really need, like, they could get away with, like, guys that are subpar shooting but really good defensively. Like, go get, even if it's just a guy like Thibault, like Matisse Thibault would be perfect on that team. Just a lockdown defender. He can't really shoot a lick. He has his moments, especially when he's playing the Lakers, but for the most part, he's not like some great 3-point shooter, but he's really good. He's made a career on his defense. You have that guy come in, play like, that's what they need. They need guys that just come in and play defense. That is it. Because they're going to have more than enough scoring. They're going to be fine scoring the basketball, but can they stop the other team? No, it's great. You can go and get, 120 a night with ease. But if you're giving up 125, then who cares? You're losing more than you're winning. So that's the difference. That's what, like, everyone's just so quick to, the Suns are the best team in the league. They're going to blow everyone out, blah, 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 blah. I'm telling you, a lot of people are going to be disappointed. A lot of people are going to be disappointed. So, anyway, what else? Anything? Yeah, Ty talking my side in debate, but different points. Yeah. Is exactly number 30 in plus minus C. Ayton is 53rd. So, yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Chris Paul is still a top 10 point guard. Yeah, I still think he's a very good, serviceable point guard. But I'm talking about, like, people act like he's a top 10 player still. Like, everyone's like, the Suns have a big 4. And it's like, do they? Do they really? Do they really?
They got a big 2.5 is what they have.
I mean, you can make an argument to Steve. I mean, Steve Nash was having another MVP year. You make an argument when the Lakers put together Steve Nash, Kobe Bryant, Dwight Howard, and kept Pau Gasol, and they still had Metal World Peace at the time. Like, that was like a legit big five, and they didn't win nothing. They barely made the playoffs.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and you still had Kobe playing at an elite level. You had Dwight Howard, who was still the best center in the league at that time. You had Pau Gasol, who was, a top 25 player at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And you had Metta World Peace, who was that tough, hard-nosed defensive guy. Like,
yeah.
And they didn't get nothing. Like, people just see the names on the back of the jersey and go, oh, that's it. They're going to win. People did the same thing when Harden, Kyrie, and KD got together, and it never worked out. Like, were they good when they all played together? Sure. But who knows what would happen, right?
Yeah.
Like, we never got that opportunity. That same thing could happen to the Suns. If Chris Paul can't stay healthy and just keeps getting hurt every year, and Devin Booker, how long is he going to be like, okay, like this is how I want to be and where I want to be and how I want to play this out? Like, there's a million things that could just have this whole thing just fall apart rather quickly. But
yeah,
I think Lakers match up pretty well against Suns. Vando can stay in front of KD like he did. Bi Tiny Dog. Yeah, it'll be fine. We'll be good. I will say when Harden, Kai, and KD were healthy in those two playoff games, they were cooked and won by 65 between the two games. No, look, I just mentioned how, like, when they were together, they looked great. But there was a lot of circumstances, and a lot of those same circumstances could very well be happening in that. As long as AD is in the paint, LeBron playing to balance KD's play out were better. They've already proven for 3 years straight that they can't stop AD with 8. Yeah, facts. Yes, agreed. And that's where we're going to end it, ladies and gentlemen. Any parting words before we get on out of here?
No, I think we're fine. So we have to do two things. We have to finish figuring this out, because I don't think with this team I'll just wrap it up by saying, like, I don't think with this currently constructed Lakers team, there's not a whole lot to figure out. Yeah, you still got to figure out rotations, but we don't have another big, crazy star that demands so much of the ball time, like a KD, Kyrie, whatever. So I think with the people that we got, we have to do two things before the end of the season. And throughout the remainder of these games, we have to find a way to somehow win games and then, kind of finish figuring this out. But we have to do it seamlessly in order for us to actually, like, make the play-in or playoffs or however. So I think we can do it. Is it going to be a little challenging? Yeah. And I think we're going to go into some really, really late, like, nail-biting, pinching games. But I think I can see us pulling this out. I really can. Like, the more I look at this team and the more I just look at the potential, and the potential really is more for next year. But I still think we get a run in the playoffs this year, and who knows what that will look like. But I do. I'm very optimistic, and I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm more excited than I am right now in this whole entire season. It's fun to watch.
I'm with you. But hopefully we just keep doing what we got to do, keep our head down, get it done, get in the playoffs, and then it's fair game once we get to that point. Probably not, because I got to set up and still make videos, and the game on Sundays at like noon.
Yeah.
But Jake, if you want to come on the live stream after that game should be over at like 3, so that's what, 5 your time on Sunday, if you can.
Yeah,
we'll talk about it later, or let me know. Just shoot me a text or something. Yeah. I'm almost certain I won't be able to do a pre-stream, but I'll definitely do the post-game stream. So stay tuned for that. But outside of that, we appreciate all of you so very much. Again, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel on your way out. If you're not subscribed, if you haven't liked the video, we'd greatly appreciate it. You guys are all